Here's one of our favorite clips from Neighborly Discourse with Billy and Steve.
Nothing to do with him wanting to help the American people. Not at all. You got religion.
It's just funny, man. That your spinning thing did like a very funny thing.
It did. It went
like
to family, local, and
then
then shot over to family with just enough force to jump to religion.
Oh, I think that was divine intervention.
Oh my God. All right.
I've been meaning to. You said something a couple of weeks ago. I was like, I'm just gonna let that go. I want to move forward. But in the back of my mind, it's like the next time we get to religion, I'm going to bring this up because I want to know if you really
from the guy who forgets everything but can bookmark this.
No. There's certain things. Listen, there's certain things. There's certain things that just stick out of my mind. It's like I can't wait till we get a chance to talk about this.
Gotcha.
Again.
What do we got?
So, you said. You believe in how did you say it? You believe in a God that
your God's a jerk.
Yeah, something like say it again. Restate your opinion.
No, that was it. Your God's a jerk. We're talking about something, and your God is listen, man. If you don't do it my way, you're gonna burn in hell forever.
Okay.
So he's not a loving and take all as they come. We'll work on you. We'll better yourself. Your God is my way or the highway.
Okay.
And the highway happens to burn you in hell for all eternity.
Okay, so
seems like a bad dude.
So here's my question, because like you said that, and I wanted to know, do you really believe that? Like, not do you believe that?
If that's what you say, if your interpretation is different than mine, then yeah.
I don't understand.
God's forgiving. Things happen. We're going to work on you. We'll figure it out. Do your best. You're like, no. Here's the way to do it. If you don't, God will forsake you and you'll burn in hell.
So just to be clear, you believe that the God that I portray is the God that you said, which is a jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I want to make clear.
Yes.
Like you believe the God that the one that I'm talking about is a jerk.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what I wanted to talk about. So I'm glad we had this conversation because I want to try to see if there's a way of us figuring out like, is he really a jerk based on what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let's start with this. You're saying like he's not a loving God, right? The God that I'm describing is not a loving God.
Yeah.
Okay. And you describe love as like what makes him not loving?
You have to explain your God. I'm going to give you.
I'm telling you that, and that's funny because.
So give me your reason.
In my mind, right? Like the way I was going to approach this conversation is that he overwhelmingly loves us.
Except if you make him mad. No, that's
you're
not screwed
it.
for all time.
On the contrary, he loves us regardless of whether we love him back or not. Yeah. So let me give it to you a different way. Okay. Imagine Liam when he was in. Well, I don't know how your thoughts were, but I know me when Nathan was not even born. Before I even saw Nathan, I was crazy about him. Okay. I knew that I loved this kid, and I didn't even know who this kid was. And then when he came out, I was like, oh my goodness, mini me, you know what I'm saying? And I loved him, and he gave me nothing. Right? All he did was poop on me, wanted to be fed, cried all the time. He gave me nothing. So he did nothing to improve my life, but yet he had all my affection. Okay, right? Yeah. I would die for him, from the very beginning. Okay. Okay. And what I'm saying to you is that thought or those feelings, right? That's how God feels about us. Like, regardless of what we can do for him. Yeah. Regardless. I mean, I'm going to say something that's going to sound crazy, but the Jeffrey Dahmer, that's the guy's name, right? Jeffrey Dahmer? The Jeffrey Dahmers of the world he loves. So, I know
I actually know that for a fact.
Okay, so the nicest person, the person that you said can do no wrong, and the person who goes around eating people's hearts, cutting them out, both extremes, he loves them. Yeah. So if I say that about God, how can you say, okay, well, he's not really a loving God?
I'll still use those two extremes. Okay. I mean, one obviously has the right to burn in hell forever. This guy, he killed 8 people. Okay. All right. The other person, since your analogy, when Nathan was born, you were loving, overwhelming, he would do nothing for, you do everything for him, X, Y, and Z. But if he did something you didn't approve of, you would forgive him and go about your day. If God did something you didn't approve of and, he still would forgive you, but you still don't check that box, you're going south for the winter and all time.
Okay, so here's the thing. That's not true. That is not the case.
But
hold on. Hold on. So that's why we're having this conversation.
Right.
We got a good 15 minutes to talk about this. That's not the case.
Okay.
Okay. So doing something wrong, right? Like, let's say speeding or even killing somebody. I even put that out there, right?
Yeah.
All these things that you can say, okay, these are things that you do that are wrong, aren't the things that get you to go to hell.
Okay.
Okay. So I just want to clarify that these aren't the things like, okay, I had an abortion, I'm going to hell. Okay. No, that's not it. That is not it.
He's a narcissist then.
What's narcissistic?
Love me or you go to hell.
Okay. So hold on a second. So
I've got
consider that
a
for a
label
second.
per thing.
No, I'm saying, so consider that for a second.
Yeah.
We had this conversation before where if you're a pot maker and you have clay and you're forming this pot and the pot turns and looks at you as the pot maker and says, "Hey, don't put a handle there." You know what I'm saying? "Hey, you're squeezing a little bit too tight." You know what I'm saying? "You're making me a little too loosey." Well, it's like, that's crazy. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? I'm the creator, and I'm creating something that I want. So as crazy it would sound as a pot will look at the creator and say, "Hey, you're making me the wrong way." That's how crazy it sounds when we say like, "Okay, you want me to love you, so you're narcissistic."
No, it's if you don't love me, I'm damning your soul forever. Seems like an overreach, in my opinion.
So, but whose standard?
Doesn't matter.
It does matter.
It doesn't.
It does.
If I don't love God,
think about that.
He's going to burn me in hell forever. That seems like a problem.
So it goes back to
nutshelling. Is that what you're saying?
So it goes back to why were you created? Why are you here?
That's not above my pay grade.
No, it's not above your pay grade. I mean, he told you why. He told you exactly why you're here.
He told you.
But what I'm saying, again, we're talking about my God, right?
Yeah.
So that's the argument, right?
Yeah.
If he tells you why you're here, right? You're the pot looking at the creator and saying, "Screw you."
So I'm going to damn your soul forever.
No, he's like, look. So now, if you have the choice. See, this is the thing.
And I promise you, I'm not being a pain in the ass, but to everything you say...
I don't think you're being...
my response is going to be, so you're going to damn my soul forever.
But I'm saying...
Sounds like an asshole.
But think
about
that.
Tell you.
But who's the... Okay, but that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You're saying that he's an ass for saying that, but I'm saying, but is he really? Because if you...
Yes. It's all time because I don't align with your beliefs. Sound like a liberal.
Hold on a second.
Yes.
If you never addressed the question about the pot talking to the potter.
I think I did.
In what way? You're saying that the creator who's creating the pot, if the pot turns around and says, "I don't want to be your pot,"
yeah,
the creator doesn't have the agency to say, "Okay, fine, you're done. I'll make another pot."
He can say, "I'm still going to put the handle I want to put in."
Right.
I appreciate your opinion, but you're wrong, and I'm going to do it, and we're going to move on.
Okay, but that's ostensibly what's happening.
Except because there's a huge punishment at the end.
Here's the difference, because it's like there's a fork in the road, right? There is like, I'm creating the pot to do what I want the pot to do, and you get to decide: are you going to do what I created you to do, or are you not going to do what I created you to do? And if you decide that I'm going to do what I want to do, then okay, go down that fork. Okay. I love you. I care for you. I don't want you to go down that fork. But if that's what you decide to do, that's what you decide to do. I'm not going to stop you from doing what you decide to do.
We're on the same page so far.
Okay, so that's it. Now,
except
in terms
the
of
punishment doesn't fit the non-crime.
But I'm saying again, think about that for a second.
I am.
By you saying that, right?
Yeah.
By you saying that the punishment does not fit the
non-crime.
But again, non-crime, the crime, whatever.
Okay.
That is the pot telling the creator that, you know what, this is really how it's supposed to be. I'm the God, and I should be telling you what the crime is, what the non-crime is, your sensibility. Like, you are screwed up with your sensibility. And I'm like, that is crazy. That is narcissistic. To be able to tell the one who's actually the creator that, hey, this is how you should think.
Understood. Okay, that makes sense. So then, when your final breath is drawn, you ascend to heaven. God should say, "I told you." But now, okay, let's move on, and that's it.
But again, It's the pot telling the creator, this is how you should.
And
this
then,
is how you should do
and
things.
then at the end, when you get to heaven, he looks down and says, "Told you were wrong. Let's go. Get in there and you keep it quiet. Keep it moving."
Get in where? Get into heaven?
Yeah.
But Billy, think again. You're saying
I told you you're wrong. I'm gonna damn you to hell forever.
No. I'm not saying that he told you you're wrong. I'm saying that I'm saying even though that's what it comes out to be, that's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is in every scenario that you come up with, right?
Yeah.
The true narcissist in the equation is the creation, not the creator.
No,
because in every scenario
they can both share. They can both be the same.
But say that. What do you mean by that?
The narcissist A is saying, "Do what I say, or else." Narcissist B is saying, "No, I'm better off this way." So at the very end, narcissist A says, "I have the final say." Bye.
But narcissism is a what's the word I'm looking for? It's a unrealistic view of oneself.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you're suggesting that God has an unrealistic view of himself. The creator of everything, the one who holds the universe in his hands, can literally have an unrealistic view of himself. Do you understand how crazy that sounds?
For the sake of the conversation, I see where you're going to. But the crazy part to me is the creator of everything of everywhere, universe included. That's the crazy part, not the narcissist part.
So consider that for a second. If you, but again, I would entertain that part, but I feel like
I want you to entertain that part. I'm trying to stick with your conversation.
Right, I think it'll take us off track.
I get what you're saying, but we asked me for the overall crazy thought. Like, I can't give you my thoughts on thought B, because thought A to me is out of control.
Okay, but because we're having this conversation in the confines of Steve's God, right? So I'm asking you to work with me.
I'm trying.
In my God, right? In my God.
To your point, I understand what you're saying.
So that's the point I'm making, right?
Yeah.
So to say, like, if you say that, let me say it this way: if this is a vacuum, when you say that God's a jerk, that's you being outside the vacuum saying that he's a jerk. And I'm saying, okay, come into my vacuum for a second.
Yeah.
And once you're in my vacuum and once we discuss it, is he really a jerk? Because the real jerk is the one who says to the creator, do it my way. That's the real jerk. That's the real narcissist.
Okay, so he's not saying do it my way. He's giving a suggestion. The pot turns to the pot maker and says, "Listen, I shouldn't have a handle over here. Put it on this side or no handle at all." And the pot maker says, "No, you're better off with a handle." Mm-hmm. Okay, if it ends up not working out, okay, you're a coffee mug for a left-handed person instead of a right-handed person. You still go about and fulfill your life as such, and the creator, okay, go about your day. You're still in use, no problem.
Again, the person who decides what I'm creating you for, right? So to really align this correctly, it's like the pot saying, "I don't want to be used as a pot. I want to be used as a broom." And it's like, "No, I want to use you as I created you to be a pot." Mm-hmm. And the pot saying, "No, I reject that identity, and I'm going to be a broom." That's the equivalent. And so in that space where he says, "No, I'm rejecting that. This is what I'm going to do." Who's the real jerk here? Remember, you're in my vacuum.
I am. So I'm in your vacuum,
right.
And in your vacuum, a pot, no matter what. Well, no matter what, no matter what can be a broom. It can't be.
You're saying it cannot be.
It can't be a broom.
Okay.
But a human being can be a human being.
So I'm glad you said that, because
I have a pot here. This cannot sweep up the floor, but you and I can both be people with no issues.
I'm glad you said that, because the definition of human being, right?
Yeah,
is literally the house of God. Where the spirit, where the spirit of an image bearer. It's like the child of God. A human being literally is the image bearer of God.
Yeah.
So when you say that a pot cannot be anything other than a pot, that is what God is saying. You as a human cannot be anything other than the image bearer of me. And just as crazy as you're saying, like, there's no way I can take this and sweep a floor. God is saying there's no way that you could be anything other than my image bearer. So when you actually take that cup, and start to sweep. And as crazy as that look, it's like as ineffective as it is, he's saying that's how ineffective and as crazy as it is to me. As you can see that cup being crazy, I as God is saying, I see it as just as crazy when you go out there and you do your own thing. I see it just as crazy.
All right.
But I allow you to do it. So anyway, again, I'm not trying to make you a God believer. I'm saying that
I know that
with this type of understanding of, I just wanted to flesh out truly who's the jerk in the scenario, right? It's not God. God's not narcissistic. He doesn't have a unrealistic view of himself, right? He is everything. Okay. He created everything, so it's the person who goes against that. That's the crazy one, that you actually think. There's a scripture in the Bible that says that God laughs at the nation. He actually laughs at them when they do what they do. It's like, who's God here?
Listen, I'm all for that. But then you burn in hell because you didn't do what I wanted you to do.
By choice.
Seems like a bit much.
By choice. And I just want to add this one thing to this, is that he said very clearly that hell was not created for human beings.
Okay.
Hell was created for the originator of sin, which is Lucifer and everyone who followed him. Mm-hmm. That's what hell was created for. And then human beings decided we're going to follow Lucifer. Okay. So if that's if that's where he's going, then it was created for him. He's going there, and everyone who decides to follow him is going there as well. So I thank you for indulging me. I really wanted to have that conversation.
All right, and for that, I'm not following Lucifer. I'm not a devil believer either.
But this is what's interesting.
So either you're with God or you're with the devil.
Yeah, he said there's no in between.
Seems like a problem again.
It's black or white. It's either you're on my side or you're not. Oh, but hold on.
Okay, so again, it kind of.
So I want to listen. This is good because I'm glad you brought that up. Because remember I told you earlier where it's not like checking off a list. I cheated on my taxes. Yeah. Because you did that, you're going to hell. I want to make that very clear. That's not it. We're going to keep sinning. That's not it. The issue is, are you choosing God or not? And if you don't choose God, then that is really your ultimate why you burn in hell. Not because you sinned, but because the sin of not choosing God trumps all other sins.
All right.